you want to improve your accent, if you want to improve your listening comprehension, then these are the videos for you. They're very unique. You will not find other exercises like this on the internet. We are practicing with real life people who are trying to improve their listening comprehension and their accent through pronunciation, accentuation, and intonation. And if you want to do that, you can come along with us right now and you can watch these videos and practice with us. And if you would like to participate, just click on the link in the description to the Discord group. The first two people who volunteer once the video starts are the two people who get to practice with us on that day. And if you find these videos helpful, remember to press the like button and also subscribe. I need your help to grow my channel. It's a very unique channel. Well, now let's get started and let's improve our English accents and our listening comprehension. What is our first word for today?
Superficial.
Okay, but now remember that when you're using a P, when you're saying P, you have to push the air out. So it's not super. Don't eat it. You have to push it out. Super.
Superficial.
Super.
Superficial. Yeah.
Superficial.
Superficial. Yeah.
Do you know that word?
Mm.
Have you seen that word before? That's a pretty common word.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Super.
Like artificial.
What?
Like that artificial or not the natural like.
Yeah, it means like on the surface. I mean, if you think about the word fish, that's like the word face. And super means over the face or on the face. So superficial means just like on the surface, on the face of it, but it doesn't go under. So it's like artificial. Not it's not genuine. It's just an appearance. Have you seen that word before, Pachu? Superficial?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Pachu, can you read our first example? Wait, let me bring this up. Read number 1. What does it say?
Uh, her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Okay, let's start with the first 4 words. Her knowledge of history. What would you say are the important words in that phrase?
Is a history and knowledge.
Okay, both of them. Can you tell me which
Yes.
which syllables are important in the word knowledge and history?
Knowledge. No is the first knowledge.
Okay, now, but also pay attention to the sound because it's not knowledge, it's knowledge, knowledge.
Knowledge.
Right, okay. And how about in the word history? What is the important sound in the word history?
First
Tell me. I want to hear you say the word.
history.
History. Can you put more H sound on the H? History. Okay,
History.
that's better. Okay. So how does this sound? If these are the important words, knowledge and history are the important words, and the important syllable is now and his. How does that phrase sound?
Is now knowledge of
Nah. It's not no,
history.
nah. It's not no, it's nah. Knowledge. Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Her
Now
her knowledge of history.
her knowledge of history.
That's right. That's how it should sound. Her knowledge of history.
Her knowledge of history.
Okay, we might as well do the next 2 words. Is superficial. Are there any important words in that phrase? Is superficial.
Yeah, superficial. Yes.
Okay.
Super.
Super. Okay. And then when you say super, which syllable has all of the sound?
Soup.
Sue. Sue.
Soup.
Sue. Sue. Superficial. I guess we could
Super.
I guess we could put a little sound on that fi in official also. Superficial.
superficial.
Her knowledge of history is superficial.
Her knowledge of history is superficial.
Say it again.
Her knowledge of history is superficial.
hmm Can you say that, Alex? Her knowledge of history is superficial.
Her knowledge of history is superficial.
That's good. That's good. Alex, what is the final phrase of that sentence?
So would you please just make the font a little bit bigger? She only knows the basic. Yeah,
Oh, it's too big. It's too small. Okay, let me
yeah. If
let
you
me
can the font a bit
let me
bigger,
bigger.
if you don't mind, yeah, please.
Can you see?
Because I can hardly see it. Yes, she only knows the basic. Yeah,
What do you think are the important? Is that okay? Is that okay now?
knows the basic. Yeah, now much better
Okay.
now. Thanks.
What do you suppose are the?
No basic.
Okay, well, I think all. I think the number one important word though might be only.
She only. Oh, yeah, only. Yeah. She only knows the basic.
Yeah, she only knows the basics.
Hmm.
Okay, so that word only, where is all of the emphasis on that word?
Oh,
Oh,
only. Oh,
okay. All right, so it's the O. And what did you say were the other important words?
she only knows the basic.
Okay.
No, we put a little bit of stress in knows
Yeah, I think
the
so.
basic as well.
I think that's good. So you could say she only knows.
Okay. She only knows.
She only knows the.
She only knows that.
Okay, and then wait a minute. I've got to move this. And then the final part, the basics. The word basics is important. Which syllable do you want to emphasize? Basics.
Basics. Basics.
Base
Ba-
basics. Okay, that's right. So the whole phrase will sound like this. She only knows the basics.
she only knows the basics.
Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Her knowledge of history is, her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
That's good. Okay, Pachu, can you try that? Oh wait, I've got Pachu on. Let me just. Are you there, Pachu?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Can you say that final part? She only knows the basics.
She only knows the basics.
Okay. Can you say the whole phrase? Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Okay, now let's add a little bit of music to this. So we're going to, this red means that we're going to apply high tones to all of our important sounds, except when we get to the final part of a phrase, because the final part of a phrase will usually sound low. So we'll go high on all the important sounds until we get to the final important sound, and then all of that will be blue. So it should sound something like this. Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Okay, that's very good. All right, Alex, can you try that with a little bit of music? Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Their knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basic.
hmm We try to go down at the final part of the phrase. So the important sounds before the final word could be high. Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basic.
Basic. Not basics, but probably it would be better to say
Basic.
basics, go down instead of
Basics.
ba- ba-
Basics.
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 Hmm.
Basics. She only knows the basics.
Uh, Alex, can you make a how her knowledge of history? How will you make a question about how her knowledge of history?
So how is her knowledge of history?
Okay, and in that question, how is her knowledge of history? What are the important words?
How knowledge history.
Okay,
Knowledge of history.
how would it sound if you
How is her?
That's right. Or Hauser.
How,
There might not even be an H. It could be Hauser. Can you try it? Try it
how's
again.
her? Yeah.
Hauser.
How's her knowledge?
Hmm.
How is her knowledge?
Hauser knowledge of history.
How is her knowledge of history?
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Pachu, can you try that? Hauser knowledge of history.
How's her knowledge of history?
Try again.
How's her knowledge of history?
Hauser knowledge of history. What is the answer, Pachu?
Her knowledge her knowledge of history is superficial.
She.
She only she only knows the basics.
Uh huh. Alex, how's her knowledge of history?
Her knowledge of history is superficial. She only knows the basics.
All right, Alex, let's move on to the next vocabulary word for today.